this digital information about European networks Inland is member of. And today it is AER, Assembly of European Regions. And we are very happy to have Secretary General Vanja Freitas with us today. Welcome. We look forward to your presentation of AER for Inland County Council as well as our colleagues in the administration. Please, Vanja, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Aniren, and good afternoon. First of all, it's a pleasure for me to present the Assembly of European Regions, or AER, to you. And AER, as you can see, my first slide, is the voice of European regions since 1985. So this means that this year we proudly celebrate our 40th anniversary. So represents 4 decades of commitment to being the voice of European regions. This is a milestone that reflects the strong foundations that our member regions have built together over these 40 years. But it's an event that also inspires us to continue advancing regional cooperation and influence European and international levels. And it's a moment to honor our past achievements, but also to look forward to new opportunities and challenges ahead. And I mentioned our members, and who are our members? Let me show you in this slide. So the Assembly of European Regions brings together 130 members across wider Europe. So we are the largest independent network of regions in wider Europe. We bring together members from EU and non-EU countries, something that is very obvious for Inlandet as a region in Norway. So our members come from across the continent, from Norway to Turkey, from Ireland to Ukraine, all united in the same idea that stronger regions build a stronger Europe. So diversity is one of our strengths, and this is what allows us to exchange experiences and ideas across a wider spectrum of political, cultural, and economic context. And what is our mission? We have 2 mission objectives, is to be the voice of the regions of Europe, promoting their interests in Europe and beyond, and fostering interregional cooperation for the exchange of knowledge and experiences in the development of regional policies. So is this dual focus on advocacy in one hand and on regional cooperation that we believe makes AER a powerful network in this European landscape. In this next slide, we have the 3 key pillars of AER. So to achieve our mission, our work is organized around these 3 political priorities. The first one is democratic regions. So we are committed to promoting citizens' participation and engagement in regional governance, in strengthening democratic processes, upholding the European values throughout wider Europe. The second one is prosperous regions. So this includes innovation, sustainability, competitiveness, and cohesion. So this is what is at the core of this political priority. We bring regions together to drive green transitions, foster economic growth, and ensure long-term prosperity and cohesion, social, economic, and territorial cohesion. The third pillar is inclusive regions. So we work to make sure no one is left behind in these transitions, and that regions foster inclusive policies that address the social and economic challenges, creating equal chances for all. So this is what defines the priorities of our work. These priorities guide our political work, but also our projects and our partnerships. So these are the AER political priorities for 2025-2030. for the next 5 years. They were adopted recently at our General Assembly in June. So, how are we organized in the Assembly of European Regions? This slide here represents our organization and structure. It's important to mention that AER, you don't see it here, but the AER has a General Assembly that is our highest decision-making body, and where all member regions have a seat in the vote. We have our political bureau, you see here the circle in blue, that brings together political representatives from regions. It's the body that sets the AER political priorities. It serves as a space for political dialogue and is the structure that adopts our political positions. So we have several task forces that focus on specific policy areas of priority for our members. You see them listed here, the current task forces: decarbonization, cohesion policy, access to services, and agriculture and rural development. We also have thematic working groups, is the circle in red. These are more perhaps technical and hands-on structures dedicated to exchange of knowledge, experiences, and peer support in the development and implementation of regional policies. We also have an Intercultural Regions Network that is a platform that facilitates the learning and exchange of experiences among regions on how to manage diversity at regional level and making the most of that diversity for the economic growth and prosperity of our regions. We also have, you see the circle in green below, a Ukraine focus group that reflects our commitment to support regions affected by the conflict in Ukraine. It's a platform that contributes to Ukraine's recovery and European integration. We also implement a number of European projects. They are listed here: Climbing the Ladder and 80 Labs, that in this case have a strong youth focus. And then we have programs. We have programs like Eurodyssey, the Youth Regional Network, and the Summer Academy that in general aim to empower young people, facilitate cooperation between regions, and showcase regional expertise. So these are structures that also strengthen our regional partnerships. Not represented here, we have an executive board that leads the work of the Assembly of European Regions, and the Secretariat that I'm representing here. We are based in Brussels and in Strasbourg. We coordinate or facilitate the members' collaboration and coordination on advocacy, on programs, projects. So this is us. Okay, in this slide is what AER membership offers. And I somehow already mentioned this when describing our structures. We provide a platform for policy making. So members have a platform to advocate and influence European policy, making sure that their regional priorities are heard at the highest levels. We also provide the spaces for knowledge transfer, access to best practices, to expertise, to experience sharing across our network, helping regions to learn from each other and support each other in policy design and implementation. Partnerships for EU funding and programs. So AER hubs find project partners within the EU and beyond, and we support the collaboration on concrete project initiatives. I want to highlight here that AER is a non-EU member network, so membership connects you, Inlandet, and every region in AER to 130 regions across Europe. So we aim to build long-term cooperation, exchange, and opportunities for collaboration. And okay, let me give you some examples of how we do this and how our structures work in practice. We have the political bureau and the task forces. I mentioned them to you. So the political bureau is the decision-making body where regions actively shape the AI positions and influence policies at European, but also at the global level. I think for Inlandet, this is a real opportunity to engage, to ensure regional priorities are represented in the work, in policy analysis and influencing work we do at European and global level. And working together in the Bureau and its task forces, members can gain stronger influence, both at European and international levels, than they would do if they would act alone. We also provide to our members access to high-level EU meetings, so we give regions a direct line to decision makers. And Inlandet is already well positioned. We have Councillor Minya Zamaria as a full member of our political bureau and participating also in our Intercode Regions network. So, okay, these are the task forces I mentioned to you. So cohesion policy, access to services, decarbonization, rural development, and agriculture. And how is that these task forces work? So members come together to organize debates, political debates, and they hold regular meetings to discuss, to define their common positions, and then adopt position papers. And then once these are defined, we represent those messages to our institutional interlocutors, to decision makers. So the task forces kind of give a concrete way for AR members to influence European policies and advocate for their priorities. The thematic working groups I mentioned already, so it's another way for AR members to collaborate. Regions come together to address shared challenges. They focus on practical topical issues. They offer a space to share insights, shape solutions together, showcase regions' expertise and best practice, and also highlight what works locally, and this way inspire other regions in their policy. The working groups also function often as a springboard for European project consortia, so turning the ideas and the collaboration that happens there into concrete project initiatives. We have at the moment 2 working groups. One is on mental health that looks into the importance of mental well-being in their membership, good practices, policies, and innovative approaches at regional level to improve mental health services. We have another working group on bioeconomy, and this was actually initiated by Inlandet. Is a structure that explores sustainable economic development through the use of renewable biological resources. So the group supports regions learning on how to transition towards greener economies through innovation and cooperation, covering areas such as agriculture, forestry, and bio-based industries. And this is the working groups we have at the moment. Projects. So I mentioned that we also develop projects together with our member regions. And we have 2 projects at the moment. I think they are, yes, we have 2 projects running. One is Climbing the Ladder, is a EU project funded by Erasmus Plus program that aims to address permanent, meaningful, structured mechanisms for youth participation in policy making and in society in general. Then we also have AT Labs, is also an Erasmus-funded program, and AT Labs stands for Erasmus Talent and Innovation Labs. Here, the project aims to bridge the gap between education and employment. So the idea is to equip students and graduates with practical skills and real-world experience. So these are our projects. You see, they have a very strong youth focus. So this already indicates how important youth empowerment and youth participation has in the AR agenda. I mentioned to you our youth programs. Let me start with the Summer Academy. The Summer Academy it was designed to facilitate mutual learning, offering workshops, conferences, study visits and partnerships and networking opportunities for those participating. And a key element in this program is the intergenerational dialogue. So we aim to bring together young people and youth representatives with elected politicians at regional level, and also practitioners, civil servants, to exchange ideas and engage in a dialogue on policies that are of priority. So the program also showcases the host region. So it allows the region hosting the Summer Academy edition. So we have one edition every 2 years. We had one in 2024 in Bodo, and we will have another one in 2026. So it's an opportunity for the regions to highlight their expertise, their culture, their history, the language, and the natural heritage, and allows participants to connect theory with local realities. This is the Summer Academy. Another flagship program that is also celebrating 40 years this year. So together with the Assembly of European Regions, so the Eurodyssée was created even before the Erasmus program. Is an international youth mobility initiative. It provides paid internships abroad, giving young people the chance to gain professional experience while promoting also language learning and European citizenship. The program is managed by the regions, and the participating member regions can select companies and sectors in need of young professionals and identify young people who would benefit from that international experience, and they manage the program's budget. So this is Eurodyssée. Then another program is the Youth Regional Network, as I mentioned. So the Youth Regional Network is a platform for young people and youth representatives from across Europe. So they participate in thematic committees. They contribute to the work of AER through policy positions, recommendations, and they also represent us in institutional platforms and in events. They also have a strong focus on capacity building. So there is annual capacity building events. There are also workshops and seminars and youth-led projects. So the idea is to give the participants the skills and the experience to contribute to their regions. The Youth Regional Network is closely connected to AER European projects, but also to our political bureau in the executive board. They have a seat at our executive board. You might remember that Inlandet hosted the YRN capacity building 2 years ago in Koppang. It was a great example of how youth and regions can work hand in hand. So this is our Youth Regional Network program. So in terms of Inlandet and AER, why is that Inlandet involvement matters? So first is the influence. So through the AER and our policy influencing work through the Bureau and its task forces, Inlandet can help shape European policies and global agendas. Even in the context of the EU, we know that Norway is not a EU member, but many EU initiatives, you know well, have direct impact on Norway in areas like European territorial cooperation, but also research and innovation, environmental policies, and mobility. So we believe that task forces like agriculture and rural development are relevant, and your views would be very much welcome. We know that farming and forestry are biggest industries in your region. And also in terms of access to services, as a mountainous region, we know that Inlandet faces specific challenges when it comes to delivering services and improving the delivery of essential services to their population and their communities in the context of sparsely populated areas, remote areas, difficult access. So then in terms of partnerships and the working groups, but also projects, Inlandet can connect with other regions and share your challenges, your needs, your interests, including transition, including farming and bioeconomy. I think that's why Inlandet even initiated this bioeconomy working group a couple of years ago. Then youth, we know that this is also a priority for Inlandet, and we have included here that initiative you had in hosting this capacity building Kopang via an event. We believe that it's also important to share with you the visibility aspect. You know, being a member in AER, an active member, allows Inlandet to strengthen its reputation, its European and international reputation as a forward-looking and cooperative region in wider Europe. You already play a leadership role with AER. We mentioned that you have a member of Inlandet, representative of Inlandet in our political bureau. So the more active you are, the stronger your influence and your cooperation with other regions will be. And yes, here there is an invitation for you to join us in Brussels on the 9th and 10th of December for our autumn events. We will also be celebrating the AER 40 anniversaries and anniversary, and I think this will be an opportunity to reflect together on 40 years of our regional cooperation, but also look ahead together with more ambition and aspiration of greater impact. And thank you very much for inviting us to present AER and the work we do, and for your commitment and your contributions to the work of the Assembly of European Regions. We very much appreciate, and it's a great opportunity to cooperate with you.
Thank you so much, Vanja. Before we close, I just have a short question. From your point of view, from the AER, what is the most important issues that you are working with now that might also come on this meeting in December? What is at stake, let's say, for this in this kind of turbulent, kind of special times we live in? What do you see from your side as the most pressing issues?
Yes, first is the future of our cohesion policy for the period post-2027. So the debate has started, the negotiations are here, and our AER members see with concern the proposal that has been put forward for the next cohesion policy programming period, where we see a less strong role for regions in the process of designing and implementing cohesion programs. So this is a policy and a funding issue. So weakening the partnership principle, the multi-level governance principle in such an important policy in Europe is worrying. But it's also a political issue. It's not only about the policy and its funding. It's about this Europe of regions concept and project. When the Commission in a policy proposal indicates that from now on we'll engage in direct dialogue with member states, and it's up to them to decide on whether and how they will work together with regions in defining those programs. This is a strong political message, and a worrying one. And so this is something we will be addressing from a policy and funding perspective. So we'll have a debate on cohesion policy and the future of cohesion policy. And European territorial cooperation is part of it. So this concerns also Norwegian regions and inlanded. But there is also a political debate that we need to have. I think we need to step up and make our voice stronger. There is no strong, more competitive Europe without strong regions. So we will have also a debate in the context of our 40th anniversary on regional democracy. So we want to emphasize that in order to build a stronger, a more prosperous, a more peaceful, a more secure Europe, we need stronger regions. And this means competences, this means partnership working with regional governments, because all starts at local and regional level. So we will discuss how to make place-based policies a concrete reality across Europe. So this is what we'll be discussing. We will also have the debate on access to services. So we know that many European regions are in a development trap situation or at risk of development trap. So they are losing talent. They are, their economies are also slowing down or in stagnation. And we need to revert this situation because we need to make the most of these territories to become more competitive. We know that in many of these more remote, sparsely populated, these rural areas, regions really struggle to attract and retain the talent they need, the investment they need. And this is linked to access to services. So if we are not able to provide education, employment, health, social services, energy, transport, connectivity services that people need to have quality of life, we will not be able to capitalize on the potential these territories have, and especially in this context of the clean transition, where we really need these territories and the resources they have to succeed in this green, digital, and demographic transition, and really make Europe more competitive and more prosperous. So this is what we will be discussing in December.
Thank you so much, Vanja, for being with us and giving us this presentation of AER and the tasks that and the issues that are in the discussion. And we will be keeping contact and look forward to our further cooperation. Thank you very much.
Thanks to you. and I look forward to welcome you in Brussels in December.